So, are the Packers the favorites in the NFC after 4 games? I'm going to go into that in this video. Now, before I get into that, let's talk about the Packers offense, which has been awesome this year. Passing the ball, they have 294 yards, which is 4th best in the league. Running the ball, they have 150 yards, which is 4th best in the league. And obviously, when you have the 4th best passing and rushing, that's going to lead to a lot of points. In fact, they're the league leader in points per game through 4 games, with 38 points this season per game. Aaron Rodgers as well has been playing well this year. He's thrown for 1,214 yards, 13 touchdowns, and I think the most impressive thing on his statistical resume this year, 0 interceptions. He's thrown 139 balls, and 98 of them have been catched, which means there's a 70% completion rate. So it's been a really good season for Aaron Rodgers so far. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is Aaron Jones, because this team is a balanced offensive machine. Aaron Jones, he's leading the rushing attack for the Packers, with 374 yards, which is 2nd most in the league. And doing this on the 9th most carries this year, with 65 carries through 4 games. Now, even though Devontae Adams has 192 yards off 17 catches, and he has also 2 touchdowns, he's been out for, he's only played 2 of the 4 games so far. A player that's come in clutch is Allen Lazard. He has 13 receptions and 254 yards, which is the Packers' leading receiver. He has 2 touchdowns as well, and he's been very key for them this season. Now, the Packers' defense. This is where your concern would be for this team. Now, this defense isn't bad by any means, but it isn't, I wouldn't say it's elite defense, especially when it comes to, possibly winning the Super Bowl or making a deep playoff run. So the rushing defense, it's actually really good. It's 9th in the league, with 105 yards allowed per game. But my concern is the passing game. Now, this team isn't bad, terribly bad, with allowing passes, but it does need to improve a little bit. They're about actually 16th in the league in allowing rushing yards with 247. But also add they've allowed a lot more points than they should have against opponents. The Vikings, who are 1-3, they allowed 34 points on week 1. Against the Lions, they allowed 21 points. The Saints, they allowed 30 points. Against the Falcons, they allowed 16 points, which is actually a lot better. But their average does come out to be 5 points per game, which is not good. You definitely want to lower that a little bit. But I think maybe that's something they can improve on. Finally, I want to get into postseason outlook for this team. Now, it's still early. Let's put it that way first. But they are 4-0, and they do control a division in which they are 1 game ahead of the Bears, or a half a game ahead of the Bears, because the Bears played on Thursday night. Now, they are the 1 seed right now in the NFC, but again, it is early. And I'm just looking, and it really does look like it's going to be the Seahawks and the Packers are the 2 heavy hitters in the NFC in the NFC this year. And I mean, maybe another team can win out there. This is still early, so I mean, definitely things could change. But I definitely think this team is an early Super Bowl contender. And yeah. Just kind of looking in a potential matchup between Seattle and the Packers in a conference final, if it ends up being that, I would pick the Packers just off these 4 games. I want to say this isn't like a prediction you should roast me for if it goes wrong. I mean, both these teams could not make, the conference. finals. These two teams could be eliminating the divisional rounds. Again, we're only one fourth of the season through. Things can change, but just because of the Seahawks pass coverage, which is horrible, they've allowed 401 yards this per game, which is not good. It's worse than the league. It's worse than the league by like 35 points or 35 yards. So yeah, it's not good. And I think on that fact alone, I think the Packers would completely destroy them in a matchup, just at least offensively. And I mean, even though Russell Wilson, he's playing at an MVP level, he would have to match Rodgers. Who basically, it would be very easy for him, or not easy. I mean, yeah, I guess it would be easy for him. It wouldn't be easy for an average human, but I mean, Rodgers, who's an all-time great, it's kind of easy to pick apart a bad defense. So I do think the Packers would win in a potential matchup. But yeah, that's really all I got in this video. Thanks for watching, and like and subscribe.